Hey, Taylorette here. It is bum roll making day and I will be altering my bum roll pattern to make it more to my specifications because I do not like where it is at right now. So you're probably asking yourself, what is wrong with this bum roll here? I don't like how it stops here. I want to bring it a little bit more to the front right here and give a little bit more bulk right here so there's more of a hip coming out on the side because it tapers. It tapers on the side and I want to bring it lower. So this is what I had before. So I'm going to make the adjustments over here and lengthen this out here, maybe lengthen this. We'll see. So I will just eyeball this. Maybe that's bad. Someone tell me in the comment section if you have other tips on this. So I drew this half circle only halfway here because I'm going to mirror it on the other side. Have it so that I cut it on the fold instead of having one big piece. I'm gonna curve it in just a little bit more. This is the center line. And bring this out more like this. Because this is where it is, but I drew a line here. I may not like this when it's done, but I'm just shooting it. So, and there is my half piece, and this will be fold. Put the arrows here so I know. There's the fold. And here are the other shapes, and cut it out. There's our half piece, and when I cut it out, this will be mirrored on the other side. If you're wondering about material, I'm using a twill cotton. You can use linen from what I've read. I think a sturdier cotton is probably ideal. This, what I used before, this was actually some scrap fabric from a stash that someone gave me and I was experimenting. Partly another reason why I'm making another bum roll is because I don't like this material, so I might stuff it more too, I'm not sure. We'll just kind of play it by ear, right? I like to cut my pieces on the fold together instead of having to cut this and move it over and cut. So instead of moving it over and cutting, I fold it over again this way so I can save some time. Someone once told me that if you work with someone who does what you're interested in learning, or if you just spend time with them while they're doing it, you'll learn a ton because there's little tips and things that they wouldn't share with you off the top of your head if you ask them. And we're ready to cut. There is a right side to twilled fabric, so figure out which side is the right side, and you'll want a pencil for this step. So here is the full piece. I'm not sure if you can see these lines here, and this marks the top stitching of in between each section of where I will stuff it, but I'm going to pin just these two right here. We want a line here at the end. Don't do it too heavy, just enough to where you can see it. Now that we have that line drawn, we'll fold it on this line, draw a line here, fold it on the next line over, and do a light drawing on that as well. Move this pin from this edge and put it over here to keep it stable, and fold it on that last line and draw a light line, and we'll flip it to this side and repeat that to this side as well. So the lines are drawn, and we'll leave this face up. This is the right side of the fabric, and we'll take the right side of this fabric as well and have them facing each other and pin around the edges here. My machine is out of commission, so I am going over here to my old Foth home sewing machine. Now it has a lot of problems. The clutch is almost going out, but it still produces beautiful stitches. I'm stitching all the way around the outside edge, not the waist part of the edge, just the outside. I did stitch around the outside. I finished that. I left the waist part open, so I will flip it inside out, this. And we'll see our lines. Kind of put your hand at the edges here. So for this part, what I like to do is make sure that these edges are all pulled out, and sometimes that means using a pin to pull out in between the crevices. Flat and ready to stitch on each line. The next step would be to stuff in between the lines here. And I just use regular stuffing from Hobby Lobby or Joann's, or you can order it online if you like to order things online. And go ahead and just stuff to your desire. So for the waistband, I cut a 2.5 inch by 27 inches because I actually ended up making the waist 26 inches. Pressing down half of an inch. Flip the other side, pressing down half of an inch. And then we will fold it 5/8 on this side. I'm eyeballing because I know what 5/8 looks like. So I would measure if I were you, if you're not used to seeing measurements. Taking our bum roll, make sure the stuffing is in there and just pinning all around the edge. I do pin this. Normally I don't pin when I do stuff like this, but because it's just so tedious with the stuffing there, I do want it kind of accurate. And now that it is stitched on, I flip it over and I take the other side of the waistband. I'm not sure if you can see that, but I flip it to this side like so and pin it all the way around. And I stitch it about 1/8 of an inch from the edge here. I cut some ties at about 16 inches and now I'm going to stick them into the sides. I think I've shown how I do this with my petticoats too. I just poke them in there like that. Okay, so I finished it from beginning to end and I will say I'm not super happy with it. I feel like this here is too lumpy and when I put the petticoat over it, it just showed too much. I added more here to get rid of the tapering on the other one and I'm realizing that there's a reason for that. However, I do like how forward it's brought. I might bring it back just an inch because I brought it forward too much, but I will taper it so that it's more gradual and it's not this lump sticking out in the front. Because I'm not going to keep this bum roll, I will just cut it like this and see how I like it. But I am going to taper it to the back like this. And literally I'm gonna take my scissors and just cut across. These are my paper scissors so it doesn't dull my fabric scissors. Now this is cut to where I want it. I'll put the petticoat on and I can see the difference on both sides and see if I like it. Okay, so I think you can see the difference between the two sides. This one is not as lumpy and you can see this here. I don't like that, but I feel like this is a good gradual change over here. I finished the second upgraded version and now I'm going to try it on to see how I like it. And the real test will be when I put the petticoat on. I'm having a better feeling about this, how the petticoat is laying over. I do definitely feel like it is a little bit more subtle and more gradual hump on the sides. It's not so bulky right here. So I think I am very happy with it. And sometimes it is these small details that make a difference in a dress. Thank you for watching and please hit the subscribe button because I would love to see you in the future and I have a lot more videos coming out. And please hit that like button as well.